The uniting of the 13 American colonies against Britain in the late 18th century was neither sudden nor inevitable, but rather the result of decades of mounting tensions, shared grievances, and a growing sense of common identity among colonies that had once been separate and fiercely independent. Originally established for various reasons, some for religious freedom like Massachusetts and Pennsylvania, others for economic opportunity like Virginia and New York, the colonies operated under British rule, yet maintained local governments. Distinct economies and unique cultures, often seeing themselves as Virginians, New Yorkers, or Pennsylvanians rather than as Americans. But this began to change after the French and Indian War, 1754-1763, when Britain, victorious yet deeply in debt, turned to its colonies to help cover war costs through a series of taxes and trade restrictions such as the Sugar Act, 1764, the Stamp Act, 1765, and later the Townshend Acts, 1767, which imposed duties on everyday goods. To the colonists, these measures were more than just economic burdens. They were violations of a fundamental political principle: no taxation without representation, since they had no voice in the British Parliament. Resistance grew as pamphlets, speeches, and town meetings spread the idea that liberty was at stake, and organized protests, boycotts, and groups like the Sons of Liberty began to challenge British authority directly, culminating in flashpoints, like the Boston Massacre, 1770, and the Boston Tea Party, 1773, which provoked Britain into passing the Coercive Acts, also called the Intolerable Acts. In 1774, harsh laws aimed at punishing Massachusetts and asserting imperial control. Ironically, these acts had the opposite effect, convincing many previously hesitant colonies that Britain's policies threatened them all, leading to the First Continental Congress, where delegates from 12 colonies, Georgia joined later, gathered to coordinate resistance. Despite differing economic interests, New England's maritime trade, the Middle Colonies' commerce, and the Southern Colonies' agriculture, leaders began to recognize that unity was their best defense against Britain's growing oppression. Britain's refusal to compromise, combined with the outbreak of armed conflict at Lexington and Concord in April 1775, transformed political protests into a full-scale war for independence, and the Second Continental Congress in 1776 took the bold step of declaring the colonies free and independent states, officially uniting them under a shared cause. While regional rivalries and cultural differences persisted, the Revolution gave birth to a collective American identity forged in the struggle against what was perceived as tyranny, and the decision to stand together not only ensured survival in the face of the world's most powerful empire, but also laid the foundation for the creation of the United States, proving that in moments of existential threat, unity could overcome division, at least long enough to secure freedom.